Look up. Beyond the familiar constellations, beyond the Milky Way, lies a universe of unimaginable scale, a universe filled with billions upon billions of galaxies, each a swirling island of stars, many orbited by planets. The sheer number of worlds out there is staggering, almost incomprehensible, and yet a profound question haunts us. Are we really alone? The odds seem stacked against it. With so many stars, so many planets, surely life must have taken root elsewhere. Perhaps not just simple microbial life, but complex, intelligent life. Civilizations that have built cities, explored the stars, maybe even conquered the challenges we still grapple with. But if that's the case, where are they? Why haven't we heard from them? Why the deafening silence? This is the Fermi Paradox, named after the physicist Enrico Fermi, who famously posed the question, where is everybody? It's a paradox because it highlights the apparent contradiction between the high probability of extraterrestrial life and the complete lack of any observable evidence for it. We've been listening for decades, searching for radio signals, any sign that we're not alone, but the universe remains stubbornly silent. Today we're going to delve into this profound mystery. We'll explore the conventional explanations, the mind-bending theories, and the chilling possibilities that the Fermi Paradox suggests. And we'll ask the question, is the silence we hear not a paradox at all, but a warning? Before we venture into the darker corners of the cosmos, let's consider some of the more conventional explanations for the great silence. One prominent idea is that life, while perhaps common in its microbial form, rarely evolves into complex, intelligent life capable of interstellar communication. Think about the history of life on Earth. For billions of years, it was dominated by single-celled organisms. Complex life, let alone intelligent life, is a relatively recent development. Perhaps this is the norm throughout the universe. Perhaps the conditions necessary for intelligent life to emerge are incredibly specific, a cosmic lottery we've somehow won. The rare Earth hypothesis proposed by Peter Ward and Donald Brownlee suggests that our planet's unique combination of factors might be incredibly rare. Let's break down some of these factors. First, we have a stable star, our sun. It's not too big, not too small, and it provides a consistent source of energy. Many stars are much more volatile, with frequent flares and eruptions that could sterilize any planets orbiting them. Second, we have a large moon, which stabilizes our planet's tilt and creates tides, which might have played a role in the evolution of life. Third, we have plate tectonics, which recycles carbon dioxide and helps regulate our climate. Fourth, we have a strong magnetic field, which protects us from harmful solar radiation. And these are just a few of the many factors that make Earth so special. The rare Earth hypothesis argues that the combination of all these factors is incredibly unlikely to occur on other planets. We might be a fluke, a cosmic outlier in a universe teeming with simple life but devoid of anything resembling ourselves. If this is true, then the silence we hear isn't a paradox at all. It's simply a reflection of the fact that we're alone, or at least incredibly rare. But even if intelligent life is rare, it doesn't necessarily mean it's non-existent. Perhaps there are other civilizations out there, but they're so far away that we haven't detected their signals yet. Or perhaps they've already come and gone, leaving no trace behind. This brings us to another conventional explanation, the possibility that civilizations inevitably destroy themselves. We're facing similar challenges here on Earth: climate change, nuclear proliferation, the potential for pandemics. These are all existential threats that could wipe us out. Perhaps this is the fate of all intelligent life. Perhaps civilizations inevitably reach a point where their technological prowess outpaces their wisdom, leading to their own demise. The silence we hear might be the echo of countless civilizations that have risen and fallen, leaving no trace behind. This idea is explored in the concept of the Great Filter, which we'll discuss in more detail later. But the basic idea is that there's some challenge, some obstacle that prevents most civilizations from becoming interstellar. It could be a technological hurdle, a societal collapse, or even a self-inflicted catastrophe. If this is true, then the silence we hear might be a warning a reminder that we're not immune to the dangers that have felled other civilizations. And then there's the possibility that they are out there, transmitting signals, but we simply don't have the technology to detect them yet. Our current search for extraterrestrial intelligence, SETI, primarily focuses on radio waves, but perhaps advanced civilizations communicate in ways we don't yet understand. Perhaps they use different frequencies or different forms of energy, like neutrinos or gravitational waves. Perhaps their signals are so advanced that we can't distinguish them from background noise. It's like trying to listen to a whisper in a stadium filled with cheering fans. We might be surrounded by alien chatter, but we're simply not equipped to hear it. Or perhaps they've chosen not to communicate at all. Perhaps they've discovered something dangerous in the universe, something that makes interstellar travel too risky. Or perhaps they've simply lost interest in exploring the cosmos, turning inward to focus on their own internal development. Perhaps they've entered a post-biological stage of existence, transcending physical forms and exploring realities we can't even comprehend. These are just a few of the many possible explanations for the Fermi Paradox. Each one raises profound questions about the nature of life, the universe, and our place within it. But there's one theory that stands out, a theory that's both chilling and compelling. The dark forest theory. Imagine a dark forest at night. It's a vast forest, stretching for miles, and you're just one tree among countless others. You know other trees are out there. You can hear the rustling of leaves, the snapping of twigs, but you stay silent. You don't call out, you don't shine a light, because in the darkness, any sound, any signal could attract a predator. This is the core of the dark forest analogy. In the cosmic forest, the universe, each star, each planet represents a civilization. They know, or at least suspect, that others are out there, but they remain silent. They hide, because the universe, like that dark forest, might be a dangerous place. It might be filled with predators. What kind of predators? Well, imagine a civilization far more advanced than our own. A civilization that has mastered interstellar travel, perhaps even faster than light travel. They might be driven by resource scarcity, seeking to conquer and exploit other worlds for their resources. Or perhaps they're driven by something else entirely, fear. They might see other civilizations as potential threats, rivals that could one day challenge their dominance. And so, they act preemptively. They eliminate any civilization that reveals itself, ensuring their own survival. Or perhaps the predators aren't necessarily malicious. Perhaps they're simply acting out of self-preservation. They've learned through bitter experience that revealing themselves is a death sentence. They've seen what happens to civilizations that are too loud, too visible, and they've chosen a different path, silence. The logic of the dark forest theory is chillingly simple. In a competitive environment, silence is the best defense. Any civilization that broadcasts its existence is taking a huge risk. They're painting a target on their backs. And in a universe where interstellar travel is possible, that target could be reached by a hostile force in a relatively short amount of time. So, if the dark forest theory is correct, the silence we hear isn't a sign that we're alone, it's a sign that we're being watched. It's a sign that the universe is a dangerous place and that we should be very, very careful about who we call out to. The dark forest theory leads us to another chilling concept, the Great Filter. This is the idea that there's some kind of obstacle, some challenge, that prevents most civilizations from reaching a stage where they can communicate across the stars. It's a filter that weeds out life, preventing it from spreading throughout the universe. But what exactly is this filter? Well, that's the mystery. It could be anything. Perhaps it's a biological challenge like a planet-wide pandemic that wipes out intelligent life before it can develop the technology for interstellar travel. Or maybe it's an environmental challenge like a catastrophic climate change event that renders a planet uninhabitable. Or perhaps the filter is technological. Maybe there's a point in a civilization's development where technology becomes so powerful that it poses an existential threat. Nuclear weapons, artificial intelligence, nanotechnology. These are all tools that could potentially destroy a civilization if not handled with extreme care. Maybe the silence we hear is the result of countless civilizations that have reached this technological tipping point and fallen victim to their own creations. The Great Filter could even be something we haven't even imagined yet, something inherent in the laws of physics or the nature of consciousness that prevents civilizations from reaching a certain level of advancement. The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes the Great Filter so unsettling. The question is, where are we in relation to this filter? Have we already passed it? Or is it still ahead of us, waiting to extinguish our civilization? If we've already passed it, then that means we're incredibly lucky, perhaps even unique. But if it's still ahead of us, then we're living on borrowed time. The silence we hear might be a warning, a reminder that we're not immune to the dangers that have felled other civilizations. The Great Filter is a sobering concept, but it also offers a glimmer of hope. If we can identify the filter, if we can understand the challenges that have prevented other civilizations from reaching the stars, then maybe we can find a way to avoid them. Maybe we can be the exception, the civilization that breaks through the filter and survives. But what if the silence isn't just about avoiding predators or the Great Filter? What if it's a deliberate choice? Perhaps advanced civilizations have learned something about the universe, something so terrifying, so profound, that they've chosen to remain silent, to disappear from view. Perhaps they've encountered something they can't comprehend, something that threatens their very existence. Imagine a universe teeming with life, but most of it is hiding from something vast, ancient, and incomprehensible, something that dwarfs our understanding of the cosmos, something that makes our search for extraterrestrial life seem naive, even foolish. This is the cosmic horror scenario, the idea that the universe is not just indifferent, but actively hostile. Perhaps the silence is a message not of emptiness, but of warning, a message telling us to be careful, to be cautious, to not draw attention to ourselves. Perhaps the reason we haven't heard from anyone is because they're all listening, waiting, hoping that we don't make the same mistake. If this is true, then our search for extraterrestrial life might be incredibly dangerous. Every signal we send out, every attempt to contact other civilizations could be putting us at risk. We might be inadvertently inviting predators to our doorstep. The warning hypothesis forces us to reconsider our place in the universe. Are we ready to face the consequences of contact? Are we prepared for what we might find? Perhaps the greatest discovery we could make is the realization that we should remain silent, at least for now. The Fermi Paradox remains one of the greatest mysteries in science. It challenges our assumptions about the universe, life, and our place within it. It forces us to confront the possibility that we're not alone, but that the universe might be a far more dangerous and complex place than we ever imagined. So, are we alone? Are we the only intelligent life in the universe? Or are we simply the latest arrival in a cosmic game of hide and seek? The silence we hear might be a sign of our isolation, or it might be a warning, a desperate plea for us to stay hidden. The answers to these questions remain elusive, but the search continues. Scientists are constantly developing new ways to listen to the cosmos, to search for signs of life beyond Earth. And as we continue to explore the universe, we must also grapple with the profound implications of the Fermi Paradox. What do you think? Are we alone? Is the silence a paradox or a warning? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this exploration of the Fermi Paradox thought-provoking, please like and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of the cosmos.